Is one of them mine?
This is not the parish council meeting, and therefore there is no allowance in law that this should be filmed. So if anybody's got an objection to being having it filmed, please say so. If there's no objection,
Can I just make a point clear? Are you saying the film can't, the meeting can't be filmed?
no, I said there's no legal requirement to have it filmed.
He's asking us if anybody minds whether it's filmed or not.
Right, can I just say, because I've looked up this and I've researched this, the parish meeting comes under the rules of the openness and openness and local government bodies regulations. So, because it comes under...
This has come back from YLCA, right?
You read that and I'll read this out.
Okay, this is from, it says, I have reviewed the advice note prepared by YLCA, and we have indeed said that parish meetings are subject to the recording legislation. However, and I apologise that we assumed that people would recognise that the reference to a parish meeting means that as defined in the openness of local government bodies and a meeting of the parish council without a separate parish council, the parish meeting of electors for the parish, which can be convened at any time by the chairman, 2 councillors or 6 electors, and the annual parish meeting, which is convened by the chairman of the parish council, are not subject to the above regulations. Members of the public who wish to record such meetings should be informed that there is no jurisdiction to do so, as the meeting is not a council meeting. That is the advice that we've got from Yorkshire Local Council Association.
Right, so just to counter that then, Chair,
Yeah.
I've researched the plain speaking guide to the Openness and Local Government Bodies Act, and in that guide it clearly makes reference to parish and town councils having to give 3 days clear notice for a meeting. It also makes clear notice that a parish meeting has to have 7 days notice, which we're all aware that does happen. So that proves that this meeting comes under that act. But if you go on to the actual law itself, and not the plain speaking guide, it actually says a parish meeting of a parish, of which we are, which does not have a separate parish council meeting. Well, we have a parish council, so the rules apply. So really, these meetings are open to be filmed.
No, it's not wrong, right?
Right, so, no, I'm just going to go further on, but what I'm saying is, the chairman, I believe, is giving out the wrong information.
The chairman is bringing out the advice.
Excuse me, we have to lady to stop until we
Quite, we want to do it. We're going to do it all night.
Just listen.
It's simple.
Just
I'm
listen
reading
to
out our recommendation, the recommendations of the Yorkshire
Calm down.
Local Council, the Yorkshire Councils.
Calm down.
That's
Listen,
it.
calm down.
No, sit down.
I have a right to speak, and I was being
So does
interrupted.
everybody else in the room.
Now, just a minute.
Yes, we do.
I have a right to speak. I've challenged what you've said.
Right.
It's up for the meeting, not just one person, it's up to the whole meeting to decide. I'd like to make a resolution, and my resolution is that the people of Anston allow this meeting to be filmed.
I don't think anybody's objecting.
Well, nobody
I've
objected.
made a resolution.
Right, have a second for that, please.
Did you
I'll
object?
send it.
Second,
No,
then.
it's advice.
Right, nobody's objected, actually. So it's a waste of time, is
solved
it?
the problem.
All those in favour, please show.
So now we've solved the problem.
All those against, there was never a problem in the first place. You're creating problems.
You're giving out the wrong information.
You're creating problems.
No, you interpreted it.
Confirm them, that's been passed. Confirm the minutes of the meeting held on Monday the 14th of April. Yeah.
Point of order. When we film the parish council meetings, there is a distinction made between those people who are councillors and they are filmed, and those people who are members of the public. Now, this meeting, everyone is a member of the public, so who is being filmed is what I think I wanted to ask before the resolution. Is everyone being filmed?
No, it's just me Clark, do people within camera range?
No, they're not.
To read?
No.
Well, it's
No.
only me, it's only me.
Just you two.
Right, that's not, I've got no problem with it.
Thank you.
Right, minutes of the last meeting. Chairman's gave his annual report. Mr Thornton presented his interpretation of the role of the chairman, parish councillors and clerk. Valencia read Mr. Yeah, okay. It's to the end of the meeting. You've all got the deed before you. Right. Would somebody like to propose that these are the true record of the meeting? Yes. Right. Proposal. Secondly, please. The minutes are correct. All those in favour, please show. Right, thank you. Item number 3, to discuss any items arising from the minutes. No? Okay. The Chairman's annual report.
Just a moment,
Yeah.
please. Can I look at item number 10 that said the state of the roads? Can I ask if the parish council has actually looked at the state of the roads in Anston recently?
Yes, of course we have, together with the people from Rothenborough who did a tour of the village.
Fine, because they are in an appalling state at the
Well,
moment.
yeah, I appreciate that. You want to get up to Rothenborough about it. It's nothing to do with the finances of the parish council. It's a Rothenborough thing. I think it could cost somewhere in the region of 39 million pounds to put the roads right, something like that. Only thing I put it down to is, well,
Neglect.
yeah.
That's why it's costing all that.
Mismanagement of council funds.
Right, Chairman's annual report. Do I need to read this out? Because you've got it in your minute, you've got it in your pack. It's in your pack, next to that, okay. Okay. Right, move on to the next item. To discuss, I've put this on the agenda because I've one or two members of the public who have been in contact with me. To discuss whether Anston Parish Council should hold or fund the Anston Day this year. This is open for discussion. Anybody wants anything to say, anything at all?
Chairman, I don't think the Parish Council can afford to fund it.
Okay.
What
Right.
was that?
How much does it cost?
It cost about £2,000 last time.
Well, but what about it being self-funded?
Do it.
Separate issue.
I think it's something really important for the village to carry forward. Whether it carries forward with parish council money or whether the parish council is prepared to give the festival committee a grant and then the festival committee to try and self-fund over a number of years, or to give a festival, elected festival committee of people from the electorate a loan that they can repay again over a certain amount of time. I think this village needs an opportunity like it's had for the last 3 years to show its appreciation for the fact that we've got this land, that it was donated to the village in the first instance for recreation and pleasure. And I think that's the way of us showing that we appreciate it, we appreciate the work the parish council does to keep it as well as it does. And I just think it's a way of us appreciating that and appreciating our village and wanting to give it something to look forward to reaching.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Chairman, the present parish council obviously felt that it wasn't necessary because it wasn't put in the budget. Now, if it's strongly felt that we should have it, somebody's got to decide what will be taken out of the budget to pay for it. If the council decide to pay for it.
Yes, Sandra.
Well, I think that the skateboard park has been going on for that many years, and I think that the youth of our village deserves, if there's any money going, that should be done, because it's been going on for such a long time.
I would just say that the festival committee in Woodsetts, that is all funded by subscription. The committee gets subscriptions and it is self-funded. There's no cost to the parishioners of Woodsetts.
And I just reply that we were told we weren't allowed to raise any money on any of the previous 3 festivals to actually be in that position. We were told that there was no money to be taken at those 3 festivals. If it
No, you misunderstand me. What I'm
but by now we would have built up a
no,
pot
what
of money
you,
to self-fund.
you misunderstand me. I think perhaps I didn't put it clearly.
Woodsets have got their own committee that do.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, they have local businesses that make subscriptions
we
to
could
their.
have that.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm
We've
saying.
already got one though.
That's what I'm saying.
Several that
Yes.
contributed
Yes.
last year towards the cost, and I don't know whether that came off that £2,000, but quite a few of them.
Well, that's how they operate in Woodset. So it's of no cost to the parishioners.
But the initial setting up would have to bear a cost.
Well, that they presumably they. Sorry, go on.
Can I just interrupt you all? This is not really the time to discuss finances. This is to decide whether you want to have one or not.
Well, it's got to be worked out how you're going to.
Parish meeting, we're here to discuss.
The first one, I did go around local businesses and raised quite a bit of money and prizes. Also, my granddaughter did a store here and contributed. And we could, within going around all of them, I just went onto the 2 estates, and I raised quite a bit.
But we've raised money each year from businesses, but that money's gone into running the event. So the £2,000 would be less by the end of it.
Why don't charge us more to go in?
Miles is not a resident, so I'm afraid you cannot speak. Okay? Joe?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly at the parish council meeting and just from listening to people here, I think there is a general feeling that it was a lovely thing to do, and it does bring the community together and people do enjoy it. And the cost is, it's not a big cost, but clearly there is a cost, so that has to be considered. Now, I know in Woodsetts, certainly we have, as borough councillors, used some of the council leadership money to help, and I do believe that they also borrowed money from the parish, which they then paid back. So I think there might be ways to fund it if we kept the cost minimal, and you know, it seemed a possibility. I think there is a willingness for it to happen.
Because we're looking at the fact that on the charity, there's probably an underspend on the budget of 5,000 to 6,000 this year.
So
But it's not.
No, it's not up to us to decide where the money comes from. We've got to decide whether we want to go ahead with it or not.
But
It's
what
not
I'm
in
saying
the
is there's
budget.
a possibility there.
Can I ask what the reason was for an allocation of money not being put into next year's budget for the day?
Because
There must be a reason.
yes, some people on the committee thought it was a waste of time.
So it was voted in by the parish council not to allocate money for it.
That's right, yeah.
So the parish council already voted on it.
I hope that vote on it, even if it was a recommendation from Finance Committee.
Right.
I think people ought to remember that it's not just children who go to the festival, that it's not just the skate park that's an asset to the village, this village has got other assets besides the skate park. And yes, the skate park's good for youngsters, but if you actually put it down here, when there was no adult supervision, it's very good at their language development. And it's not the language that I would like to hear my grandchildren use.
Yeah, but they're out on the street. The crime rate goes down. It's been proven.
Doesn't matter whether the crime rate goes down when it's the language on there and when you see
Well, if
what
you're not
the activities.
Can I bring you back on the line?
Excuse me, lady,
We're
but
supposed
if
to
you're
be
not
talking about the Anston
there,
Day.
they're out on the streets
We're not-
around people's houses and on other parks using
Sandra,
the
we're
same
not talking about the
language.
kids, we're talking about the Anston Day.
The Anston Day helped to raise funds for skate parks.
Yes, I know, I
Stuart.
went round.
Stuart,
I'll put my hand up to speak. Let me say first of all, I'm in favour of having that type of event because it brings the community together. I'm in favour. The reason I stood to speak is it needs to be clarified what's actually happened and why the situations occurred that it's had to be brought in front of the people of Anston. Because now we're going to talk about parish council issues, and I'm a councillor, I'm going to have to declare an interest, otherwise certain people make complaints.
Stuart, you're a resident of the village.
Well, in the past, the parish council has funded Anston Day, I think in the first year to the tune of 1,500 and I think the second and third year to the tune of 2,000. Each year the parish council has budget meetings where they will decide how and where and what we're going to do on the financial side. This year there was a resolution put forward by myself and Clive Jepson to keep the budget as it was the previous year, which would have included the £2,000 for the event. What actually happened at that meeting, there was 3 budget meetings, there was a finance meeting and then a full council meeting to make the final decision. The final decision was voted in by majority of vote that they would do a 1.9% increase in the precept, and the £2,000 for that particular event was taken out. I didn't vote for it, I know Clive didn't vote for it, and I think Stephen, there's quite a few independent councillors who didn't vote for that. So the reason you haven't got your £2,000 this year...
It's not mine, £2,000.
I apologise. The reason the committee hasn't got the 2,000, it was taken out by the ruling Labour Party because they had ample opportunity to give that money to the group and they decided for whatever reason not to do it. That's why we're in the situation we are. Personally I'd like it to go ahead, but I would like to see it to be self-funded. Now, how we get to that position, I don't know, but that's my opinion. I would like to see it self-funded.
I agree entirely with you that it should be self-funded.
Well, first and foremost, I believe the Monsett Council has added to regard to it.
Can you stand up? We can't hear you.
I believe the Monsett Council added to regard to it. They're all at that meeting when it was regarded budget. The only thing I can say, regardless of the few people that are in here, Anston Day actually spoke for itself and the amount of people that turned up on day.
Chair, I wasn't able to attend any budget meetings due to family commitments.
And
So I wasn't at the meeting where it was set down.
And I wasn't, because I was out for all meetings. And I was at any of the meetings.
So that's the
So
Mr. statement's incorrect.
So the thing is that we've got to decide, it's not up to this meeting to decide where the money might come from. What we're here for is to decide whether we should ask the council to support us. That's the only thing.
What I was saying, John, you've seen the support, the amount of people
Yeah,
that
I
turn
realise
up, what
that.
do you need?
But Kevin, if there is
But it's the money.
if there is a shortfall, then we've got to have someone to back us up with the money. Joe?
I just wanted to say that one of the problems we had when we were trying to put the budget together was that we clearly had less money to do the things that we wanted to do, and we had to make some very difficult decisions, and we rather hoped that there would be a way forward on Anston Day that could perhaps be financed differently, if you like, not just straight through the parish council, because there were other things that we felt were important, like, for instance, the bonfire night. And it's making those sorts of decisions, and rightly or wrongly, certainly we decided that we wanted to keep bonfire night. There were other people who wanted Christmas lights and that kind of thing. So it's about trying to sort of say, well, what's important that we have and what maybe could we look at other kinds of funding?
Well, can I ask, just as a straw poll, and put your hands up, who would like to go ahead with getting the Anston Day? That's all I want to know.
Yeah, but we need a proviso,
No.
John, that's how it's going to be funded.
But first of all, we've got to find out if people want it, then it's our problem to find the money. Is anybody dead against us having Anston
Well,
Day?
it's Mrs Thomas's committee
Chair,
to
Chair,
find
you've
the
got to ask
money.
if anybody wants to make a proposal first.
I'm asking a question for my benefit.
Please, am I allowed to make
Yeah.
a proposal?
Yes,
Yeah.
you are.
Can I propose that the group who worked on the Anston Days for the last 3 years, well, the village people, shall we say, bring a presentation to the next parish council meeting, the different options that we foresee we could.
Right, I've got a seconder for that. Yeah, I've got a seconder as well. So is there any amendment to that? Right, so we'll vote on that then. All those in favour, please show.
Could we have the proposal read out, please?
Yeah. The previous group which organised the day is to bring forward a proposal to give to the next parish council meeting
In a presentation.
in a presentation form.
I would like to make an amendment to that,
Yeah.
that it's not to the next parish council meeting, it's to the new parish council meeting after the May election.
Yeah.
Right, would you change it to that? Would you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Would
I
you
think that's right.
Yes.
Mrs Thomas, did you say that you were going to bring not just one proposal, you were going to bring
Well, I
three?
suggested first we had a grant or we borrowed the money off the council. Or
So
we
you're going
tried
to include
raise
that in
the
your...
money
yeah,
ourselves.
yeah.
But to start it up, I think raising that money from local businesses or
Yeah.
wider area businesses would be quite difficult. So to start up, we would need some help with
But you've been going 3 years.
So there are 3 options there. We've been going 3 years, yeah. We weren't allowed to raise money on the last 3.
You just collected money and gave it
Who would
away.
not allow you to raise the money?
The chair of the group that we were in at that time, I'd rather not say who it was because I don't want us to get into
No, personality.
So,
NBC or not. I just want to
So the
say,
proposal we've got is that they put together a presentation for the May council meeting,
yes.
when the new council will be in
Yes.
force. All those in favour of that, please. Don't need to count. Right, thank you.
Can I just thank everybody for
Yeah.
that because I really do feel it's important to see all those people having fun and enjoying the day with the people.
It was
So the only thing left on the agenda is to agree the date of the next meeting, which the proposal is Monday the 11th of April.
Yeah. Yeah, next meeting, 11th of April.
All
Sorry,
in
John.
favour?
Can we change the date from the Monday?
2016.
Because it seems to be clashing with what's happening next door. It seems to be clashing with lots of activities on a Monday.
And sometimes you can't hear John for them when...
Can we have a date, I'm just suggesting, can we have a date to be confirmed?
Yeah, but not a
Decide
Monday.
at the end of the year, it's just
Not a Monday.
We need to set it today.
But you don't have to say it today, you can say the date to be confirmed, and then closer to the event, you can choose a night that doesn't clash.
We've got to do it now so that we can book the room for the date. Somebody will come about to come on next week and want the room.
Yeah, but it's not till next year.
Everyone else knows, it's only here in advance.
Yeah, that's why we have to set it now, because this meeting is not going to be for another year, is it?
Could you say that again, John, please?
Because this meeting is not convened for another year, this meeting has to make the decision when we're having it. Wednesday the 20th, how's that? All those in favour of the 20th on Wednesday? Thank you.
Finish my jigsaw.
Right, that's the official agenda finished, but what we'll do now, so I've declared the meeting closed. If there's anything that you want to talk about and having this discussion to get the feel of what people want, please do it now. But we've got, this is the legal document for what we've had, and that we've completed that, so that the meeting is now finished.
Chair, you can't have a meeting outside a meeting, because the meeting's finished.
It's not an agenda item, it's a general discussion between you lot sitting here and deciding to come. It's only fair to give you the chance to bring up anything. And can I remind you that next year, please put your proposals to go onto the agenda with 7 days before the meeting, because that's the law.
I've got one for you then, John.
Yeah.
Given what you said to me on Friday night about your candidature for the Borough Council,
Yeah.
and that you're standing to split the vote, would you be prepared to tell the electorate who you're actually supporting?
I'm supporting myself, actually.
Oh, but if you're standing just to split the vote, you're standing to try and get one of those other candidates.
I'm standing because I'm the only candidate that actually lives in Anston.
I'm sorry, but I don't know what you're talking about.
The election is actually talking out of terms, but it's not been declared yet. You've not got your forms, and it's only we only know.
Standing for the borough.
You're obviously trying to split somebody from being elected.
Well, it is. I'm just not happy that we haven't got a candidate from Anston, and I'm it.
So you're not standing to get elected, you're standing to split the vote?
Well, if I can get on, I will do. And I'll tell you what, I'd stop all this secrecy. I will stop all this secrecy.
What secrecy is that then, John?
Just to preserve public tranquility.
You mean not secrecy that goes on between councils, Labour councils and Parish Council?
Do you mean the secrecy of the child sexual exploitation?
Excuse me, there are other people who wish to vote.
Do you mean that, John?
Yeah, okay.
Can I just ask why
Is
we
it-
don't know who's standing and
Well, it's all out in the public
Can I suggest that you ask people to raise their hands?
Yeah, Judith, it's on the notice board. Right, Joe.
Thank you. It would be a good idea if you ask people to raise their hands if they want to speak, and then go to them in
Yeah,
turn.
that's what we're going to do.
Just a thought. I just wanted to say something about the area assembly actually, because I am aware that not everybody has realised or appreciates that there is another meeting, if you like, which tries to bring in local issues, which is the area assembly, and that actually combines the three parishes of Dinnington, of Anston Woodsetts, Anston Wales and Kivington, and meet maybe every 2 months. And it's to look specifically, and I just want to say this, because you know last time I was talking about it, people have not heard of it. Everyone is welcome to go to those meetings. They have different times in the day, and they are publicised as far as I know, in places like the library and various other places. Do you know, Michael, where they actually get published? Well, I'll try and find that out, because they're actually looking specifically at borough council issues, and I think a lot of people feel that perhaps sometimes, things like roads, for instance, people, but the other important thing about the meeting, sorry to go on, is that they have an initiative called PACT, which is Partners and, I wouldn't say police and communities together, it's actually partners and communities together, where at those meetings, the police are there, and they decide between them what has been the issues over the past 2 months, and what can be the priority in terms of local police activity in the next 2 months. And those things are actually quite important. So I just wanted to, flag up the area.
Yeah, it's a good point, Joe. Mrs. Sadler, you were next presenter. You put your hand up. That's it. Put your hand down.
I am going to speak, John.
Yeah.
Just to give information to the people of Anston regarding your standing for election to the borough. Is it true that you have been asked by the Labour Party to stand so that you will split the vote?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
Do you mind if I say I've heard to the contrary?
Well, what have you heard? It's hearsay. I can assure you that my nomination forms were signed by people, nothing at all to do with the Labour Party.
Nothing to do with the signature, John.
8 people I don't want to get into this argument. It's a made-up thing.
No, I don't think it is. I think that you have always acted for the Labour Party during parish council meetings, and I think that now.
Sadler, I'm not a member of the Labour Party. I never have been a member of the Labour Party.
I didn't say you were.
I was a member of the NUM when I worked underground, but I've never been a member of the Labour Party.
I didn't say you were, John.
And I'm not influenced by them at all.
You have always acted with them, John. You have always voted with them. You have never voted independently.
Is to be independent and to follow what I believe to be right.
I think the electorate needs to know, John.
Mrs Sadler, can you just accept an answer? That's what you asked for.
Yeah.
No, we want the
Can I just go on to something else, please, because we'll be here all night otherwise. Can I just ask that in future, if the parish council is going to spend vast amounts of money, that they actually do a parish vote before they go and spend money on land?
Excellent. Yes. Yes.
Can I answer that one and say that we sent a circular out to the public and it was answered 400. I mean, people said it was unanimous. People said
There was
John. Well, I never got one.
The questions in the circular were very ambiguous, John.
on 3 occasions, would we like to protect the village by buying land? That was the question, and it was unanimous in replies, which is what we did.
Why didn't you buy the land down on Common Lane then?
It was pushed through by a Labour Party majority.
It was.
It was pushed through, and you're misleading people, John.
You are.
Because
Can we go back to
the
this
independents
lady?
were asking for a proper consultation.
Mr Chairman, can we go back to this lady who's just asked
John, I'd
that
like
question?
to ask a question on
Well, we've just all supported it.
on the way that
Just all
an end of year report,
We're supposed to, yeah.
would we see some figures of money that's being spent by parish council that the public don't see?
Sorry, Kevin, I didn't quite hear.
As regards trying to achieve grants, surveys, things that the public do not see. At end of year, can we see a figure of how much the parish council has actually spent on
What do you think to that,
Well,
George?
in the minutes, all the decisions that are made are in the minutes.
No, I'm
No,
not
they're
making
not.
decisions. I mean, I would like to see a figure on the amount of money.
Oh, the giveaway grants. I think
No.
If you get a quote.
Are you listening to the finance questions?
I can't think of a strong opinion on that.
They're calling for more openness.
On unachievable grants. They're not unachievable grants, but I've worked for a number of councils for a long time and seen a number of councils spend a lot of money on unachievable grants. It's called, greedy grants, that's what they are. We spend a lot of public money on trying to achieve something that is not achievable. And I would just, such as trying to get a grant for all. Are we going to have a look whether or not we're going to achieve that grant? Has anybody gone forward and asked what do we need to get that grant before we spend the X amount of pounds on drawings and one thing and another? That's what I'm saying. I'm only asking this question.
Can I reply to that?
Yes, sure.
Right, I'll reply to that, and I'm replying now as a parish councillor. You attend all
You're
the
not here as parish councillor.
Oh, yeah, no,
He's changed his tune.
Yeah.
When it comes to inquiries, everybody's a councillor.
Listen.
Stuart, will you stop saying calm down? It's very offensive.
No, but if people are shouting
No, it's
over-
offensive.
People are shouting over other people that can't be heard. Now,
Still, continue.
I'm here as a member of the public, but if I choose to, I can indicate to the public which way I represent. I'm now speaking as a councillor at a public meeting. Now, I can assure you, I check the finance on the council quite closely, as do quite a few of the councillors, and I can assure everybody in this room that every single penny the council spends is fully accounted for and is open to inspection at any time. I'm looking at the clerk now, that members of the public are allowed to inspect the financial accounts at certain times of the year. And I'm giving you an assurance, because you're misleading people by saying money that's
I'm not misleading anybody, I'm asking a question.
Right, and I'm telling you that every single penny that's spent by the council is open to public scrutiny.
What I'm saying is I would like to see road map, whether it be in a newsletter or whatever, when we get the diagram where money's being spent, I would like it to say how it's been spent, not shoved into that diagram and other items. I would like to see that as an individual item.
Can I suggest you might ask the clerk, and I'm quite sure the clerk will give you the answer.
I just, you know, I think things like Anston Day, one thing another, where this council seems to scrounge for money from here, there and everywhere, everybody can get it. And yet we spend money on things that I personally can see, or I've seen in the past, that have been unachievable.
Am I right in saying that the budgets are published on the website?
Yes.
Am I right in saying that the budgets are published on the website?
Yeah.
The breakdown of the cost?
Yeah.
You know, that breakdown of
All expenditure.
the breakdown of those costs aren't, they're not individual, they're not one item.
They're not
It should be
detailed
other
accounts, are they?
No.
Would it be possible, John, to have more detailed
I think we
accounts
we can
and to make them public? Because after all, you don't have anything to hide.
get to the council to decide to ask for that. And what we want to do is what you want. You ask the council for that. They will discuss it.
Right,
So
more
if you
detailed
would like that, put it
accounts.
on the agenda for the meeting when you will be a councillor. Please do.
Will these questions that have been asked now, or not questions, but will the feelings of people at this meeting go forward to the parish council at their next meeting? Will they know how people feel about this area of the land? The majority of this meeting said yes, if you consider it buying land, that we should all be...
Yeah, the only difference is it will be by word of mouth from the councillors that are here. Because this is not minutes, this is just an informal discussion between, you'll get the feel.
We've never had an informal discussion at the end of these meetings before, so why are we having
This is the first
it?
time.
Yes, so why are we having it now, John?
Because people didn't put any notifications in 7 days in advance.
Right, don't get aggressive. Don't get aggressive, I'm simply
Well, that's
asking.
why we're trying to do it and be helpful to the village. I mean, if you like, we can just pack the meeting up and go. I'm asking you to discuss it between you.
Well, that's what you've done before, John. Have you had a change of heart?
It's in the rules that you have to inform the clerk 7 days in advance so they can publish what's on the agenda. And the only thing that go on is the thing that I've done for the Anston Day. All the others is not official, it's just a discussion between yourselves. And we can glean something from that and put it forward to council.
Can I ask one of the councillors that's present then, even though they're not in the council that's had tonight, to represent us at the next parish council and feedback some of the feeling from the meeting?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah?
Don't look at me.
No problem.
Can't ask me anything
One of
till
them
the
volunteer,
council.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll do what they've got to do.
Right, that's the way of getting it onto the council. You go on and put it on the agenda, a report on this meeting, if you will, and then you can highlight everything, and if you want to talk about it as well, you can talk about it. Right. What do I have to do to convince you I'm not meant to the party? String myself up from the right.
Well, if you'd have voted independently once in a while.
You could sever the strings between you and John. Because you'll have to hear his book. Just sever those strings.
You are.
I think you're more of a conservative than a Labour.
Right, all right.
Yeah, he is. It's only 3 times. It's only 3 times. Yeah.
Right, thank you very much for your attendance, folks.
Well said, Gordon.
Mr. Thatcher changed it into a grant thing anyway.